Hey, what episode of Fanfic Talk Mini is this, boss?
Are we? Is this? Are we actually? Is this going to be in the video?
I don't know.
All right. Don't edit this part in. I can check.
What episode is this?
It is. Oh gosh, I probably won't be able to find it.
What episode?
Hang on.
You're on the spot.
What episode is this? I should really write this down. Okay.
Just guess and say 8.
No. I found it. This is Wild Cheese. This is a special episode. It's episode 10. 10 Cheese. That's like a big deal. Yeah. Like in the mainline fanfic talk videos, episode 10 is usually like a really big deal that we like go all out for.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, this is mini though, so.
Yeah. So it's a mini celebration. Yay.
Woohoo! Wahoo!
Whoop, whoop. Raise the roof.
Wahoo!
Yeah. That's interesting.
here's Chris Pratt. Wahoo!
You know that apparently they changed that.
Yeah, it actually sounds better, I think.
They had to bring him back into the recording booth, and they were like, Chris Pratt, can you do all your lines again, but this time not sound like you're on Lexapro?
I don't know. It's just like whenever I heard Seth Rogen's Donkey Kong was whenever I realized, oh, Chris Pratt's Mario isn't even that bad.
Donkey Kong has hardly even said anything in the trailers.
Every time I hear Seth Rogen speaking through Donkey Kong, I cringe.
Well, none of this can make it into the episode, Cheese, because this episode isn't even about the Mario movie, which is already going to be out by the time this video comes out, almost certainly.
Just keep in, like, the beginning.
Yeah. I'll keep in some of it. Anyways, Cheese, today's the day that we explore the wizarding world, as they call it.
Because it's kind of relevant. We're recording this a month after the release of Hogwarts Legacy. We're a little late, but...
Well, we're going to be very late because this video is going to come out in, like, 8 months.
That's right, boss.
Hopefully the game is still popular.
Wait a minute. Maybe we shouldn't be dating our videos.
Well, you mentioned it was relevant because it came out a month ago. And
it's not going to be relevant when it comes out.
I know, so there's really no point.
Unless they add, like, a multiplayer update.
Where something horrible happens, like they start having microtransactions and loot boxes in the game.
I don't think that's a thing.
It becomes a scourge of the gaming industry, and here we are talking about it.
EA?
EA buys Harry Potter.
You know, I think they did make, like, some of the older Harry Potter games. I might be wrong about that, but I could be right.
Could be right. I mean, you're the big Harry Potter guy. Yet again, this is another franchise that only you really know about. I'm just kind of along for the ride.
The only thing you know about is Star Trek.
I know about Pikmin.
Oh, yeah. Well, we already did that.
Yeah, that's already been done. We've already done Star Trek and Pikmin, so I'm exhausted of content. There's nothing left.
What else do you like?
Mario. I like Mario.
Oh, we already did that.
Yeah, we already did that. Everything's been done. Like I said, it's all on you now.
We already done the Paper Mario, though?
Paper Mario, kind of. We did Bug Fables as our first episode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was great.
But I am glad you're back, Cheese, because in the last episode, there's like this gremlin guy, Cheese, in the last episode, and he just went on and on about Kingdom Hearts, and we just not stop talking about it, and I started to get a little scared.
Was he kind of like that guy that was on the wing of the plane in that Twilight Zone episode?
Not really. I don't know.
It's a little gremlin man.
I guess so. But at least, he didn't talk, though. The guy who was talking to me about Kingdom Hearts would not stop talking.
Oh.
So, yeah, that's...
Yeah, and you know, if anybody's talking about Kingdom Hearts, like, talking is the last thing you really want them to do. And what you want them to do is just shut up.
Yep.
Like, if it's Kingdom Hearts, then I want that mouth to close.
Close real tight. I mean, I was going to say sorry, but there's no way that Seth's going to watch this episode.
Probably not.
He'll watch his own episode, knowing Seth.
I might actually feel bad if he listens.
In his episode, he went on and on about like how important the franchise was to him during really rough times. And here you are making fun of him, telling him to shut his mouth.
Oh, wow. God.
What a friend. All right. Cheese, it's the wizarding world. Do you know the wizarding world? You like wizards, right? Wizards and elves and fairies and gnomes.
I would like to point out, my brother asked me like a couple weeks ago. He was thinking, he goes, Are there elves in Harry Potter? And I was like, yeah, the house elves. I don't know if you know about these guys.
No, I don't know about house elves.
So the elves in Harry Potter are literally just slaves.
Oh.
They're really kind of small, goofy looking guys. They have like these really big eyes. Just look up a picture of them.
Is that Dobby? Is Dobby an elf?
Dobby, yeah.
Dobby. Are you sure? Are you sure that's how you pronounce it? I always thought it was Dobby.
No, Dobby sounds pretty funny. It's Dobby.
Well, if he appears in the story, I'm calling him Dobby.
Yeah. Well, there's a funny thing in the books where, you know who Hermione is?
Yeah, that's the girl.
Well, she's a big activist for like house elf freedom.
What a loser.
She doesn't. Well, they don't really want to exactly be free, even if their master's terrible. Like, yeah, she's trying to convince them to like free themselves, but they actually take offense.
Wow.
Whenever she tries to get them to free themselves. And so she starts actually like going so far as to trick them.
Easy to do. Elves have pretty small brains.
The way that a house elf like can be freed is if their master presents them with a piece of clothing. Basically.
This is very weird lore.
A little
this
bit.
Harry Potter lore.
Yeah, Harry Potter's always been kind of hokey and goofy in a charming way.
How many Harry Potter books are there?
7.
And how many times have you read all of them?
I don't count the first time because I was really young and I did not understand what I was reading at all. So I would only count as once.
Okay.
And that was like a year ago.
Are they good books, or do you have any problems with them?
Oh, they're fantastic.
Oh, okay. Who would have thought?
No, seriously, one of my favorites so far.
Wow. You say the books are better than the movies?
Oh.
Are you of that opinion?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Like, it's just, the movies are good, but then this is just a case where the books are way better.
As with most things, I guess.
Anyway, I wasn't done with the house elf thing.
Well, we don't have time, jeez.
So she's trying to trick them. She's leaving, like, clothes around so that whenever they pick them up, they'll be tricked into being freed, basically, is her plan. So the clothes start disappearing, and she thinks the house elves are taking them. And then Harry later on finds Dobby, and Dobby is just like wearing tons of socks and like stacks of like hats on his head. And Dobby the whole time has been taking them.
Dobby denied his people freedom.
Well, my favorite part about that whole thing is just that Harry never tells her the truth.
Oh.
He doesn't want to take that away from her.
That's a weird little, I guess when you have 7 books, you can afford to have little side stories like that don't necessarily go anywhere.
I just thought it was funny. Like, it doesn't spend like a lot of time on it. It's just a funny thing. And say like, Dominic is a guy who hates elves so much that if he was in a fantasy world, he would be like a raging, psychotic racist. I can see him just saying, being in a fantasy world, being one of those guys saying, the only good elf's a dead elf.
I was just about to say that. Dang it. I was about to say my famous catchphrase that I say all the time is the only good elf is a dead elf.
You'd absolutely be somebody that says that.
Hopefully this story doesn't have any elves.
In an alternate fantasy world, you're like a raging racist.
I'd be like, in like book 2, I'm like one of the first bad guys that the heroes have to take out when they find out that I'm like sending a bunch of elves off to factories to like work themselves to death, and they have to all work together and work as a team.
Get turned into wizarding glue.
Yeah, something like that. They're off to the old elf glue factory, and and the heroes have to team up for the first time to stop me. There's much greater threats later on in the books and stuff, but I'm like one of the early
Voldemort
bad guys. Yeah, Voldemort, he's like later on, but I'm a mini boss along the way. Anyways, this story, we're reading a story today. It's a Harry Potter story, and it's called This Tangled Web.
Yeah, and who's it by?
It's called I, Worthington. It's an epic Harry Potter story, a tale of lies, deceit, and unexpected triumph, centering around Harry and Severus. Severus.
You know who he is?
He's the guy with the long black hair.
Yeah.
See, I do know Harry Potter. I should.
Alan Rickman.
I should mention briefly my experience with Harry Potter is that when I was a little kid, I think I turned on the first movie. And I watched like the first 10 minutes and fell asleep, and I never saw anything Harry Potter related ever again. That's my story.
I had a different experience.
What was your experience?
I enjoyed it. That was my different experience. Yeah,
That's great.
the first two, the actors are super young, so it's kind of goofy. 3 is where I consider one of my favorites.
Like a genuinely good movie?
Yeah,
Not
it's pretty good. The first two, it's difficult. I kind of like them, but they're also still, it hasn't really taken off yet because those actors are so young and kind of goofy.
The story's in beta.
Yeah, child actors. Who needs them?
Yeah, may as well just cast adults as the children.
Yeah, I can play a child.
Yeah, this is, gotta put on like some little kid makeup on you or something. Get rid of all those wrinkles and gray hair.
Do some CGI.
Yeah, you can just deep fake it now.
I'm short enough for the part.
Yeah, we just need to get one of those little kid hats with the propeller on the top. Put that on you. And put like a little backpack on you. School clothes. Hey, we'll Fortnite t-shirt. And then you can Fortnite dance all through the hallways. And it's seamless, absolutely seamless. That could be your next big role, because you mastered the role of an old man in Old Man Irwin. Now we need to take it the other direction.
Oh, God. Okay.
Hey, fellow kids. Okay, this story, it's just tangled. We'll talk more about Harry.
Fellow gamers.
We'll talk more about Harry Potter later, but now it's time to talk about fake Harry Potter. Prologue. I want a cookie, Voldemort said sadly.
You have to say it like he would say it.
How does he talk?
I want a cookie.
I want a cookie.
He just has like snake-like slits.
Yeah, what's up with that?
He's like,
Never mind, don't tell me. Well, you can't have a cookie, said James and Lily Potter at once. Is that Harry Potter's parents?
Yes.
Okay, I see. I gauged that all on my own. I'm a pretty smart guy.
It's not like they had the same last name or anything.
Could have been his aunt or uncle or something.
Oh no, they're awful.
I do remember, I think there was one other experience I had with Harry Potter. Instead of just watching the first 10 minutes of the movie, I did briefly play one of the games.
Oh.
And I think it was on the PS1 or something, PS2. And I did not get very far. All I remember was collecting jelly beans in a very large library.
I like the jelly beans.
Is this in the movie, or the jelly beans
They don't collect them, but they are in the movie, yeah.
Okay, that was just the game, trying to come up with some way to gamify it.
Every flavored beans, and it's literally every flavor.
Elf flavored?
Absolute bizarre, yeah, earwax.
Yeah, that would be gross.
Pretty much,
I'd
yeah,
much rather have elf
anything
flavored.
gross you can think of, you never know what it's gonna be.
You never know what it's gonna be. Wash my dishes, woman! Voldemort shouted. Wash my dishes, woman. I will not wash your dishes. You do them yourselves, Lord Voldemort. Yourselves, said Lily Potter sternly, and James Potter nodded and agreed.
Indeed.
Yeah, you do seem Wait, you do them yourselves. Lord, why are you saying it like that, Lord Voldemort? Something tells me this is not how their relationship was in the book.
No, he killed them.
Didn't he kill them because he knew that their son was going to be the mystical, magical hero?
That's a little complicated to explain.
Okay. Am I at least kind of right?
I'll do this briefly. There was...
You could have just said yes or no.
No.
Darn it.
Okay.
Hey, is that my bicycle? Lord Voldemort asked. James and Lily Potter looked at each other and snickered. No, it's yours, yelled they. Though they knew it was the Dark Lord's, and they just painted it yellow. Oh, what a troublemakers. And so they defied the Dark Lord 3 times, and the saga of Harry Potter began. Now, this is a very different take on the world of Harry Potter. I don't remember any of this from the first 10 minutes of the movie. Voldemort called all his Death Eaters. What?
Death Eaters.
They called them Death Eaters in this story.
They're called Death Eaters.
Are you sure? And when's the last time you read the books? Maybe you're mistaken here.
A year ago?
Well, they're called Death Eaters in the story, so I'm going to call them Death Eaters. He called all his Death Eaters.
They're called Death Eaters.
To a meeting because he wanted to perpetuate the Valentine's Day Massacre? What? His Death Eaters include...
Who's writing it? This guy's stupid.
Lucius Malfoy. Draco Malfoy. I always thought Draco Malfoy was such a name. I can't call it stupid necessarily. It's always stuck in my head though. Draco Malfoy.
Oh, this is so stupid.
Everything's fine. The Death Eaters. That's all. That's the only problem. Severus Snape, who wasn't really a bad guy.
Why even include that in parentheses?
I don't know.
Why even include that?
Spoilers. Professor Fake Moody and Hermione.
And why even say that? He wasn't fake Moody. It was like, that's a dumb way, but he was technically Barty Crouch Jr.
Oh boy. I'm sorry. Already falling behind.
So why not just say Barty Crouch Jr.?
Is that like his nickname, Professor Fake Moody?
In the fourth movie, Professor Moody was there, and then at the end, it's kind of revealed that it was a Death Eater in disguise, and the real one.
You mean a Death Eater?
Was locked in a chest in the room.
A lot of spoilers here. Sorry, people who are listening to this before watching any of the movies or reading the books. Hermione's parents are also there, Miss and Mr. Granger.
They shouldn't be because they're Muggles. You know what a Muggle is?
Oh, I know what that means. Muggles are the people who don't have the superpowers.
So, I don't know. Let's see why they're there. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but...
Dead Eaters! Voldemort shrieked. You're gonna have to say it as Dead Eaters so many times in the story, and you're gonna hate it. We are gonna do some bad stuff this year! Yay! They yelled in happiness. It's a funny story, Cheese. It's funny. Start laughing. I have formed a terrible plot, Voldemort enunciated gladly, wherein we all will team up to destroy Hogwarts.
But what is the plot?
Asked a feminine voice.
Glad you...
Wait a minute. Professor Snape?
He has a feminine voice?
He doesn't have a feminine voice. He has like a really weird nasally masculine voice. Like, what?
Mr. Potter.
Mr. Potter.
I guess I've absorbed a lot of Harry Potter information and lore just through osmosis, because, yeah, I kind of knew his voice. But I guess in this story it's feminine. You have to go with it.
Glad you asked, Professor Snape.
Voldemort shouted.
The plot is we are gonna.
No, I've never read anything that used the word gonna.
Yeah, what? I use it all the time. Gonna is pretty
in
popular.
Text, but not in like books.
Well, this story, it has like it's loose. It's loose on the canon. It's loose with the writing. It's a friendly story.
I don't tolerate looseness.
Oh.
I'm gonna dock some points.
A point? Yeah, okay.
We are going to...
Oh, see, now it just sounds dumb.
Adopt Harry Potter to go to his home and get some robes and duct tape and a machine gun and adopt him by force after the Valentine's Day massacre, wherein we will spread mean leaflets that mock Dumbledore and his friends and make them cry.
Okay, wow. This guy sounds pretty dastardly.
Why did you pick this?
I thought I skimmed the story and I was like, wow, Harry Potter has some weird lore. The Valentine's Day massacre is involved? Wow.
Snape listened to it all, looking very angry at Dumbledore and happy at Voldemort. Wait, is Dumbledore there? Dumbledore's not there.
I guess he's there now. Maybe he just walked in.
Why would he be there?
I don't know.
He's not a bad guy.
Well, where are they? They could be anywhere. We don't even have like an establishing scene, I don't think. I think they're just hanging out somewhere.
I have no idea.
Could be at the Arby's for all I know.
But really, Snape was very sad. He walked back to Hogwarts with his head down in sadness, but up in glee, in case anyone saw him and said he's not happy with doing the Valentine's Day massacre, and realized he was actually a good guy. What?
For those who don't know, the Valentine's Day massacre was this horrific incident of like some unsolved mystery of like a bunch of gangsters getting shot down.
Wait, is that a real thing?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was like some whole bunch of gangsters on Valentine's Day were like horrifically massacred in a basement. And I don't have any idea why that's here.
Snape was upset
over all of the badness Voldemort was calculating forth. So, in fury, he saw Ronald Weasley and said, Mr. Weasley, 5 points from Hufflepuff. He's in Gryffindor, actually. And Miss Granger, 15 points from Slytherin. She's in Gryffindor, actually.
Everything here is wrong.
Everything
is the person
wrong.
writing this story not a fan?
Is it you?
I wrote this story. Big plot twist. I am I Worthington.
Oh, God.
No, I wouldn't know the terminology well enough to even do this other stuff. I mean, Ronald Weasley? Never even heard of that character. It sounds like a fake character.
He was even more upset when emerging from the Gryffindor common room. became Sirius Black. That wouldn't happen.
What? Why?
Because like, by the time the books take place, it's like years after he was going to school, and he's actually in Azkaban because he was framed for betraying Harry's parents to Voldemort.
Are you sure, Cheese, that you didn't maybe you missed a book? Maybe there's like a 8th book in the series and you missed it, you didn't read it, and maybe it had all this information and you're the one that's out of date?
Black, why are you still living? Snape wailed. To be continued.
I wish it just ended there.
Yeah, we could.
No, let's talk more about Harry Potter for a second or two. Maybe even 3 if we have time. So, Cheese, Harry Potter is like a thing about wizards, right?
Yeah.
Everything about it seems like old world, but doesn't it take place pretty much in modern times, like 2008 or something? All this stuff is going on within the lore of the story.
Hang on.
Oh man, what if I'm right? If I'm right and you didn't know, I become automatically the true Harry Potter fan.
No. Actually, I think I remember like reading the final battle in the books like took place on the year of my birth, I think. I'm just gonna look at what year did Harry defeat Voldemort.
I'm gonna say 2008. You'll see.
May 1998.
Ah, darn it. All right. That's so random to think about.
Yeah, I thought so.
All right. You got me. Very impressive.
I knew the year.
So you technically are within like the time frame of the Harry Potter lore.
That's
like,
right.
You were around right as it came to an end.
That's
Amazing.
Right. One of the things I like about the books so much better that the movies don't do is just the characters come across as just way kind of just stronger and confident in the books at times, and just like standing up for each other and themselves, and you just don't see that happen a lot in the movies. And it was always really satisfying to me when something like that happened in the books.
Yeah, movies, that's always the eternal struggle. Movies just can't fit in all like these other scenes that don't really mean anything for the grand plot, but are important on, a smaller individual character level, and books just excel at that kind of thing. TV strikes a good middle ground, but even then, I mean, I don't know. Maybe someday there will be a Harry Potter TV series, if you would trust such a thing.
Yeah, and there were always just like really satisfying, kind of like whenever Harry was always like coming up with these really like satisfying comebacks to Snape. Pretty much. It was in the movie he kind of just takes it and grumbles, but in the book he's always saying something back because he just gets really fed up with it early on, and he goes, "This guy hates me and I hate him too, and I just don't care."
And just like an actual student in an actual school.
It's just it's the same thing with Malfoy.
Draco Malfoy
really does not put up with any of his crap in the books, and it actually gets him in trouble, especially in book 5, which is a really satisfying scene. Does not happen in the movie, where Harry's already having like a bad year in general, right? And I think they had just won like a Quidditch match against Slytherin, but then Malfoy just for no reason. Well, I know there's a reason, and the reason is that he's just a jerk.
That's reason enough.
I think he literally just comes out and makes fun of Harry's mom being dead.
Oh, your mother's dead!
He's always doing that, but he said something that really crossed the line this time, and Harry just like drops everything and runs across like the field at him. Ron's brothers, George and Fred, like both run at him too, and they all 3 just start beating him up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And they all 3 get banned from Quidditch for the rest of the year. I'm not explaining Quidditch to you.
No, nor should you. I know, that's the little ball thing. It's the ball. I remember that from the video game too.
Yeah.
All my knowledge of Harry Potter comes from 10 minutes of the first movie and like half of a PS2 game.
The books just had so much like more satisfying character moments. Certain plot, like the movie kind of, they did all of the, the main plot points, but there were certain things where the books were just like, had things that were more complex. Like, just briefly, I'll say the twist with the fake Mad-Eye Moody in the 4th one is like super complex in the books. It is to the point where I didn't process any of it when I was a kid. So I actually understand why they cut out like 98% of it in the movie, because nobody No kid would understand it.
You have to be very intelligent,
I
200 level IQ to understand the Mad Eye Moody plotline.
Didn't get it until I was an adult.
It wasn't my time, so I came back to life.
What the
Sirius
hell?
explained gently. And I had to tell Harry a terrible truth from beyond the grave. Hi, Sirius. You're alive. What a terrible truth from beyond the grave do you want to tell me? Harry asked cheerfully, giving Sirius a pat on the back because he felt so joyful over his godfather being alive. It was very clever of the writer of the Harry Potter books to name the character Sirius, and his personality is serious. He's a serious guy, and his name is Sirius. That was like that was like a stroke of brilliance, if you really think about
I
it.
wouldn't call him the most serious guy.
He seems pretty serious. I would look at the guy and be like, that's a serious looking guy.
When it counts, but he actually really is kind of a mischief maker.
Like an elf. The truth is, your scar is not. Oh, the truth is. No, wait.
God.
The truth is, there's too many characters. The truth is, your scar is not from Voldemort, Sirius said happily. Your real father, James, beat you up when you were just a baby? So the scar is really a product of domestic abuse. Oh. The story's all about domestic abuse, Cheese. That changes things. Oh, how shocking, Harry cried. It is indeed appalling, Sirius agreed. So what's new with you? So what's new with you after just talking about how your father abused you as a baby? I am an
Animagus.
Oh, jeez. What's going on? That sounds like a Transformer name.
It's a guy that can turn into an animal.
Oh, okay.
And Harry never learns how to do it.
Now, just like you, Godfather. Oh gosh, I can't even follow who's talking. Really, what is your animagus form? I turn into Dumbledore. Cool. I'm a dog. I know, Sirius. Oh, who's talking? I know, Sirius, because I've seen it like 1,000 times. Hardy har har, Sirius said. This was his way of laughing. So shall we go back home now? I'm now living with the Dursleys, just like you are, Harry. To be continued. Are you getting any enjoyment out of this?
No.
Okay, just checking. Wanted to make sure.
Harry and Sirius walked back to the Dursleys. Vernon Dursley was no longer filled with a unbridled hatred towards Wizard Kine because Remus Lupin had fixed his VCR. VCRus workus againus.
That's funny. That is funny.
With a vibrant flash of lightning from his wand, and the VCR spat out the tape, jammed brutally, callously, and fiendishly in its depths. Good descriptors.
Yeah.
Vernon clapped uproariously and offered his house as headquarters for the Order of the Phoenix. Do you know what that is?
I do not. Does it have anything to do with the Death Eaters?
It's basically the group of people that, combats the Death Eaters.
Oh, it's close. Okay.
Yeah.
You said it wrong. It's Death Eaters, but
It's
go
Death
on.
Eaters, actually. Now, Harry said,
Hi, Minerva and Poppy.
McGonagall.
All these are too many characters. I can't keep up with them. Pomfrey?
She's
What?
the Hogwarts' doctor. Pomfrey smiled where they sat chatting with Petunia Dursley.
Hello, Harry. We are in the midst of serious proceedings. Harry realized he had been quieter then, because they were in the midst of serious proceedings, so he turned to Lupin. You know, I find confusing this juxtaposition. Oh, the Dursleys and my Hogwarts acquaintances.
Harry's really grown.
It addles my mind. It reminds me very clearly of the day I was struck by a brutal fist that I mistook for a killing curse. Wouldn't you agree, Hemel?
Is the killing curse Expelliarmus? Is that the one? Expelliarmus! That one?
No, it's a Vada Kedavra.
Oh, darn it. What does Expelliarmus mean?
It's a disarming spell. There is a spell in the game that, I always just think sounds really funny whenever people say it in Hogwarts Legacy. Do you know what Petrificus Totalis is?
Let's see if I can break down the word. So, what is it again?
Petrificus Totalis.
All right, well, it has petrify in there, and then totalis,
Yep.
totally, so I assume it just means to petrify something or someone.
You
to
got
freeze.
it.
Oh, there we go. I'm brilliant. I'm so smart.
I don't know, it's just it's something, it always sounds really funny, right in the middle of combat, to just be like, Petrificus
If you like, these are some long words. If you stumble over the words or your tongue slips, you could just
I
like.
always thought it sounds funny, like whenever you're right in the middle of combat and somebody yells at you, just bite your tongue. This is why it's nice, actually, that if you practice a spell enough, you can actually do it without saying the word.
It's a cool little detail.
Yeah, it's cool.
Now, I'm very curious, speaking of hard words to say, can you say this upcoming word?
Loquacious?
You did it.
I've heard the word. Don't remember what it means, but...
You messed up the word suddenly before, so I don't know, Cheese.
I don't remember what it means, but...
Suddenly means to happen quickly or abruptly.
No, loquacious. Thou art loquacious, my... These guys kind of sticking in some good words here, actually.
Yeah, the first chapter of this was like so kind of poorly written, and now it's... Maybe these were written like years apart, each of these parts.
Juxtaposition, loquacious, pedantic.
Pretty good.
Thou art loquacious, my pedantic young friend.
Lupin mouths back. Shocked, Harry retreated. He was not pleased as a peach at Lupin's cruel insult. But he was even more shocked when suddenly in walked Mr. and Mrs. Granger.
What? That's crazy. How are they here? Part 4. Dead Eaters. Oh, Harry says this. Dead Eaters! Harry screamed.
I should, is that what it is?
Get a crumpet. Dead Eaters in the headquarters. The Dallas house. This isn't even like an English accent. I don't know what this is. No, calm down, Harry, said Sirius, laughing jollily. Hardy har har. See, they're spies for Dumbledore. Oh, thank God! Hey, we have news! Cried Mr. and Miss Granger. Yet they were interrupted and walked Professor Fake Moody. This story is nothing but continuous. Now this character is here. Now this character is here with this character, but they're talking about this character.
How would they be able to tell that it was Fake Moody? They look the same.
I don't know, jeez.
And it's not. It's Barty Crouch Jr.
Tell me more about Barty Crouch Jr.
Don't even want to.
Dead Eater! Harry screamed. Dead Eater in the headquarters. The Dursley. Wait, he's saying this again? Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Dursley house.
Oh God.
No, calm down, Harry, said McGonagall, chuckling merrily. See, he's a spy for Dumbledore. This story is insane. Oh, thank God. Hey, I have news, said Professor Fake Moody. But before he could speak, in walked Lucius Malfoy. Harry screamed. Dead Eater in the headquarters of the Dursleys' house. No, calm down, Harry, said Madame Pomfrey, chuckling. See, he's a spy for Dumbledore. Oh, Harry said he didn't think golf this time because in the interim he converted to atheism. I have news, Lucius announced. Before he could speak, Voldemort walked in. Voldemort in the headquarters of the Dursleys' house, Harry screamed. Oh man, I couldn't get through the rest. I'm trying to hurry here. We were running out of time.
This is ridiculous.
Relax, Harry, Voldemort said in a jolly tone. I'm a spy for Dumbledore. WTF? I have news. Harry felt slightly weirded out. Yeah? As all the Dead Eaters crowded around the table to say their news. The Dead Eaters are about to perpetuate the Valentine's Day massacre, Voldemort informed them sadly, wherein they will spread terrible leaflets mocking Dumbledore and his friends. I don't understand the connection. Gasps were heard all around the table. Yes, it's true, cried Snape in affirmation. So how do we stop him? Harry asked, as Sirius hardy hard. Well, Draco Malfoy is a horrible fiend, but I bet we can stop him, Dumbledore said. Oh, I'm glad, Albus, Harry said. But we have a new source of information on young Draco, said Dumbledore, his boyfriend. Huh? Harry gasped at the boy who stepped forward. Dudley? Oh my gosh, they brought Dudley into this? That's whack.
This is so stupid. I'm just not even gonna make a comment.
Okay, I'll never know who Dudley is.
Nothing to say.
Nothing.
I'll just finish it.
Yeah, I guess finish the story, then we'll talk more about Harry Potter, and then we'll leave and never come back.
Dudley, you're that in Draco?
Dudley shrugged his large shoulders. Yup.
Yep.
They volunteer at the same soup kitchen, Dumbledore explained.
He dropped a skillet on my head and accidentally broke my neck.
Dudley explained.
We've been dating ever since.
Is this the most insane story we've ever read?
Yeah.
That isn't one of our own?
You shouldn't be walking with a broken neck, Harry said reprovingly. Poppy, tell him.
Madame Pomfrey smiled benignly at the 6th year.
It's fine, Harry.
If he's not paralyzed, a neck break is really a very minor injury.
Story's going nowhere. It has like 3 lines left and it's going nowhere.
Oh, well, I don't really care. You're an arsehole anyway.
Harry said coldly. He felt strangely out of sorts knowing Draco and Dudley were dating. It seemed the Dursleys were encroaching on all aspects of his life now. Petunia was teaching care of magical creatures at Hogwarts. Oh my god. Oh.
What's wrong with that? The magical creatures.
She doesn't know anything about magical creatures.
No, she's been studying. I don't
She's
know.
a muggle. And Vernon's house was headquarters. Aunt Margie was tested and turned out to be a witch who could do many magical things. All in all, the Dursleys were really impeding on his territory. His life has gone a bit crap lately. And Draco had gotten glasses, and suddenly he was much a better Quidditch player than Harry. Apparently, he'd only sucked because he couldn't see the snitch.
What? Literally, what? Keep it together, Cheese. Keep it together.
And
So sorry.
And then Hermione had told Harry it would be a marvelous idea to form a magical bond with the skunk so he could emit a terrible stench whenever threatened. As long as he was healthy, the skunk was healthy, and the skunk would die when he died. What?
I was hoping that this stuff makes sense to you,
No.
being a big fan. Oh boy.
She neglected to tell him, before the bond, that he would also die when the skunk died. That's kind of funny, actually. So he only had 3 years left to live.
Oh.
Worst of all, Crabbe and Goyle had informed him that they were third cousins. So now Harry was living under the burden of knowing somewhere a few hundred years ago they shared a common ancestor. All in all, life sucked. I have a confession, said Dumbledore. I am an alcoholic.
Oh.
And Santa Claus. Everyone gasped. The end.
That. Bravo. Best story we've ever read. No, not really. I mean, it's very unique. It's uniquely terrible.
Yeah.
What on earth? What was that? What on earth? What would we just read?
I don't know. You chose.
Was there any through line? There was like no through line to this at all. This is like reading one of our fanfic flip stories, but like, it was character overload. I couldn't keep track of anything. I have nothing to say.
All of the reviews say, funny. The story made me laugh.
That was a fun read. Story made me laugh so hard. No joke. I loved it. Keep up the good work. Nay, the awesome work. How come we never get reviews like this on our stories? Our stories are funnier than this.
I don't think it was that good.
Yeah, I don't even know. We'll talk more about it later. Cheese, I wanted to ask, like, what is like the main thing that attracts you to the Harry Potter stories? Do you just like the character stuff? Are you more attracted to the magic stuff? Are you just there for Dobby? What is it that really like hooked you on the franchise?
Well, I'll just speak from the books specifically. See, the characters, they're just fantastic.
I see.
No, genuinely though, I really enjoy all the characters, and the magic's cool. You know, I don't think there's ever really much of an explanation, around it. It's magic. And some people can do it and some people can't.
Yeah, just the world.
And really, I think the wands are kind of just like meant to, they're only kind of like tools to help them channel it. I don't think every spell requires the wand. But then if you really think about it, that probably probably takes a certain level of mastery.
It's its own little world, its own little lore, and I can appreciate that. Are they like just done now? Like there aren't going to be any more books?
They're still doing the Fantastic Beast stuff.
Oh, what is that?
Maybe should not even talk about it.
Well, no, now I'm curious though. Like, is it like a prequel? Do you just not care for it?
It's just
for
not
some
that
reason?
interesting.
There was like a news update tomorrow that came out, and they said Harry Potter Book 8 coming out next year. Would you be worried or happy?
Oh, they're not making another one. No.
You say that now, but
She's not gonna write another one.
people said the same thing about TNG. They were like, they're never gonna make another like TNG thing with the TNG crew. And then Star Trek Picard happened, and everything was ruined forever. The end.
Well, it's been a long time since she finished, so...
Well, TNG was a long time ago, too.
Well, I don't think it's happening.
All right. This is going to age like
I do
spoiled
know
milk.
They
but-
are, like, releasing illustrated... I might have to get them someday. They have, like, illustrated versions of the books where, it's, like... It's the full books, but they have, like, just amazing art to go along with it. So that's a whole other different way to enjoy them.
Would Harry Potter like rank high among like your favorite books ever, I would imagine? Would it be like
So far, yeah.
would it be like at the very top, or is something still
Right now, it's in at least top 3. I would put it higher above Witcher, that's for sure. Tell you one thing for sure, after I reread the Witcher books a second time, I did not like them nearly as much as I did the first time.
Interesting?
The show still bothers me, but we're not talking about the Witcher.
We already had that episode. What else is near Harry Potter for you in terms of books?
Well, Lord of the Rings, but
Oh yeah,
honestly,
I didn't think of that.
I think I like Harry Potter better than the Lord of the Rings books.
That's a bit surprising.
As far as Lord of the Rings are better movies, but
I would not have guessed that. Who would you say your favorite character is, and why is it Dobby?
it's not Dobby.
Okay, it's the second favorite.
I don't know. There's a lot of characters I like. There's Neville. Neville's a great character.
Yeah, Neville's a good choice.
You know who that is?
No.
I like Neville because he's pretty much always, got Harry's back. He's really not super good with wands or anything, but there's times where he just he's losing in like duels, and he pretty much resorts in last resorts just to physical. He's a very burly guy, so just tries to physically take down his opponents at times.
That's Neville for you. That's Neville for you. Old Neville.
I don't know if I could pick a favorite. I kind of like
Alright.
all the characters.
That's a mark of a good book. You can't even pick a favorite. They're just all really solidly written.
Harry's cool, but I just couldn't pick a favorite. Ron's definitely not a favorite. I tell you, he's got some redeeming qualities. But I think he's probably the most flawed of the hero characters out of all of them.
I would say Tanabe sounds like a pretty Harry Potter-like name, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Franchisius Destructus.
Oh.
That would be what he would do.
Oh.
You really know your stuff.
Oh,
You know your
yeah.
stuff about these books.
I don't know. It hasn't been that long since I read them.
That helps, I suppose.
I enjoyed them so much that I've retained it.
We'll have to see if it sticks, or if maybe much like The Witcher, you'll reread it in several other years and you'll be like, this is kind of terrible.
I still would say the Witcher books were terrible. It just weren't as good.
I was kind of hoping that by reading this story here, maybe I would glean some information about the Harry Potter franchise, kind of figure out what was going on, but no.
What do you need me to tell you?
Everything. This story
Oh.
This story is anti-information. I know less about Harry Potter
Yeah.
after reading this story. Dumbledore is Santa Claus? I don't know if that's true or not.
Voldemort's basically Wizard Hitler.
Okay.
If he had his way, he would pretty much genocide muggles.
At least now I know information. Maybe you should have just written the fanfic. We could have just read that.
I would say one thing that will always bother me, but between the movie and the book adaptation, is just how much better the final battle is in the books. Oh my god.
I guess it makes sense, and that kinda.
In the books, it's just everybody, all kinds of even the house elves start helping
Oh my
fight.
gosh.
Yeah, they come in and they have all these.
We're here
They
too!
have all these kitchen knives.
Charge!
Yeah, I don't know. Then you got centaurs The mermaid people.
What, mermaids? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they live in the Black Lake.
Oh, of course. How did I not know that? Of course they live in the Black Lake. Where else would they live?
Yeah, a lot of characters just kind of come in at the end and start helping.
Oh, I mean, yeah, in the movie, is it just Harry Potter and friends?
Yeah, it's kind of just all the wizard characters. No other kind of beings come to help or
I
anything.
can't believe they treated the house elves like that.
In the books, it was satisfying because like the centaurs, they don't really like wizards, but they came to help.
No. Everybody worked together. It's about working as a team, Cheese. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's the moral of the story.
That happened in the book, but it was actually done well. In the movie, it was just...
You've just turned into a ranting old man. Why couldn't it be more like the books?
It's true.
This kind of behavior won't be acceptable, Cheese, when you play the role of a third grader in our upcoming skit. Now, as a third grader, you would be just talking about TikTok and Fortnite dancing and all that.
They got rid of the entire purpose of the story.
All right. Is there like an overall moral to all of the movies? Is there like here's what this is all about?
Genocide, bad.
Wow. So that's where people learned that from. Okay.
Well,
Because I'd always heard that, and now I know.
then I would have to just like think more about it.
No, think bad. No more think. Episode
Oh,
ending.
the episode's getting long.
No, I'll tell you what the moral is. The moral is that house elves are worthless and they all deserve death.
Oh my
Oh, wait,
God.
that's the exact opposite of what you said. Oh no.